Right. How are you feeling, Cass?
Well, I'm just watching on the monitors, Nat, the third
Don't do
goal
it to
now
yourself.
of
Don't do it.
Wolves against Liverpool. Yeah, I'm delighted. Not surprised at all. Anybody who knows and listened to us over the course of the year, Nat, no surprises. We've been beaten by Forest, Leeds, Wolves. Brighton have scored 8 goals against us. Forwards not scoring goals. Salah, none in the last 5. Núñez, 1 in the last 8. Gakpo come in, none in 6. And then there's all the other problems. There's loads. And the manager now is spinning plates in many ways because his answers there is quite clearly coming from... Look, he's got loads of money in the bank, as in where he is as a manager and the backing of Liverpool. And Liverpool fans are probably now starting not to believe what they're hearing because it's been so disastrous in this season. The fallout has been incredible. Watching Liverpool now is like watching another team. The midfield, well, when I saw it yesterday, I was like, well, that's not a midfield of what I thought Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool should be. You know, Thiago, great footballer. Bajetic, who plays midfield.
Yeah, Bajetic.
Bajetic, who's a terrific footballer, great, but not the greatest tackler, quite reckless. Naby Keita. So that's their midfield yesterday. That's not an engine room that made Liverpool so successful. It's nowhere near.
They've conceded 3 goals in their last 3 away games for the first time since 1993. So they're starting at Brentford, then Brighton, and now at Wolves. That we heard their chants of you getting sacked in the morning at Molineux by the Wolves fans, no doubt. Little tongue-in-cheek. You're saying he's got money in the bank, but do questions now have to be asked of Jurgen Klopp rather than saying, look, he's had injuries, he's got problems, they haven't spent a lot of money. Ultimately, he has to work with who he's got. And if he's not getting the best out of them now, if we're seeing them with no intensity, there's no pressure applied. I mean, I didn't watch the game in full, obviously, but I saw the highlights, and the team that put the pressure on, the team that were pressing were Wolves. I didn't see any of that in Liverpool.
Well, he is culpable for a lot of things, without doubt. But he's one of the greatest managers in world football. I don't want to lose him to another club when I believe he needs the opportunity to change things at Anfield. I think he's been way too loyal to too many players. I think there should have been change when one of Fergie's great things, and other clubs have done this and other managers have, when they're in a position of power, they go hard. And he didn't go hard, and Liverpool didn't go hard in the summer to push for certain players to come. Now, I know Núñez has come in, and he could possibly be a really good striker. I mean, keeps getting one-on-one situations and blasts it. You know, Liverpool had an incredible striker called Ian Rush, who got loads and loads of one-on-ones. He was very precise in his finishing. That is not, for me, Núñez at the moment. He wants to blast everything, and great if they go in, but a lot of times I keep seeing hitting the keeper. Now, finishing is a really difficult skill, and he's got to learn that. I've seen Marcus Rashford change as a player in front of goal because he's been... And, I remember doing an article about 4 years about Marcus Rashford, and he reminded me of Núñez because of the way he would break free, get in positions and not be clinical. And if you're going to be at a top club and not be clinical, you'll be gone. You won't survive. And he's become, this season, way more clinical. Núñez has got to get to that stage of being clinical when he gets in one-on-ones. But that's one of many an issue now. You mentioned Klopp. I do not want Klopp getting the sack. I want him the chance to rebuild the football club. But he's got to use his position of strength against the club to make them understand this is where we are now and we should have done more last summer. And
make them realise he's an asset rather than a problem right now. Well, let's hear from him because he obviously gave his post-match reaction, and this is what he said when he was asked about what they can do to change their current form around.
I can prepare a lot, but I cannot go fly into a challenge for them. That's not possible. So, yeah, that's tough now. It's really tough, and we know that, and we better would have changed it yesterday. But now we have to change it today or tomorrow, so immediately get there, because next game is Everton. They, obviously, the derby, they won now the last game. Typical now Sean Dyche, football, set-piece goal, blah, 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 full of aggression. We need to be there. They will not hand it over to us.
Okay, it is a tough game coming up next, a week on Monday, so that's the 13th of February when they host Everton at Anfield then, Cass. Liverpool, where are they? They're 10th in the table. They do have a game in hand, so, I'm trying to give a little glimmer of hope because they're on 29 points. Win their game in hand, obviously, they'd move much further up the table if everything was to go their way. But 2023 has not been kind to them. They have had 4 games. They haven't won a single game. You have to go back to the 30th of December for the last time that Liverpool won in the Premier League. If you had, I don't know, a magic wand and you could go into Liverpool right now and make the changes needed to get them back to being the Liverpool of old, what would that mean? Well, what would you do?
Well, centre-half, definitely. I'd attempt to get 2 holding midfielders. I think that engine room needs to be revamped completely. It's going to be expensive, and it's got to be the right personnel. I'm watching, obviously, Núñez and the other lad in midfield who just came in, Lamina, come in for Wolves, Mm-hmm. Energy, fighting for things that drop. And I looked at their midfield, and Moutinho came on later on in the game, who's a very technical player, but still puts his foot in. And I've always said this to you now, my biggest problem is that Thiago's such a good footballer that you end up playing the way that Thiago wants to play. And that in itself is not what Liverpool do. And because he's so pleasing, he's so good on the eye and so gifted technically, you end up playing a way that I don't want him being in a position in front of the back four at times. Because once you go past him, they're in trouble. And Liverpool's centre-half position is an issue. I know they've got massive injuries in Konate and Van Dijk, but Liverpool need another centre-half. And I think someone who's going to kick the backside of Virgil van Dijk, because he's had a poor season. There isn't many players that have played well for Liverpool this year, but Van Dijk's out now, but he's had a poor season by his standards, which are really high.
It's turmoil in some ways, it feels, for Liverpool. They're going through a period of transition. You think about also the fact that the club's up for sale as well. That doesn't help matters. There's that uncertainty, and you sort of wonder, well, do the current owners, want to actually put money into the club in terms of buying personnel if they're not that wholeheartedly, fully invested in the club anymore?